I am Marcin Grabias. I am a Drupal developer, and I'm currently working in Tag1 Consulting with people that actually shape the how Drupal is done, and like core maintainers and contrib module developers, and I'm also one of them. I wanted to share my experience with you a bit. How did it happen that I became a global developer, and how I started contributing to Drupal project and the contrib module projects. And also, before I begin, two short announcements. I would like to thank the organizers for making this conference. It's very nice. I'm attending since quite a long time, so thank you very much. And the second, I recently learned that Drupal was officially classified as public digital good. It happened like less than a month ago, so yay. Okay, and now to get to know my audience a bit. Who of you are working in a distributed team? Okay, that's quite nice. Now, who of you are working in a distributed team with people in more than 2 cities? Very good. And more than 2 countries? Okay, nice. But still, there is a lot of audience that will benefit. Okay, so I will go through the skills and through the stages of my life that actually helped me acquire those skills. So, first, what's the difference between global and local developer? What are the cons and pros? And well, let's think if that's something that would make you happy. So let's start with the cons. I don't have real life work friends. It's just meeting with people online, and that's it. I can see them sometimes, but I cannot go to a pub with them. And like, there are no company events, so probably that would be one of the reasons I am coming to this conference every year to actually meet some people from the business. No office other than home office. I also struggle a bit to find different places to work at, because it's good for a change. Yes, no single team. People come and go. It's like it's from project to project. People I'm working with change, projects and budget ends on the projects, so there's eventually some another team and some other project. We have like, I think around 200 people in Tag1 Consulting currently. So and project teams are like up to 10 persons. So it really changes who I work with. Different time zones, that can be a challenge. And well, sometimes it happens that the project ends and there is nothing cooking. But yes, I recently learned that this is a good time to actually chill out, do my hobbies, and like just don't worry, because eventually work will come. Now the pros. So mostly meeting interesting people. It's like working with other top developers. It's just it makes you learn a lot. It's like when team changes, everyone is special in a way. They have very different skills, and their knowledge is like, it's very, very impressive. Well, also good money when there are less intermediaries. So when working in a global agency, that clients come from all over the world, well, preferably from places where they have big budget, because well, developers from global agencies are quite expensive. So that's good. And freedom. So you can work anytime you want, basically, except for like a few meetings. That's currently I'm on 2 projects and I have only 1 or 2 meetings per week. So it's like, yeah, you can work anywhere and like anytime. So now, yes, where I work. The top left corner is my favorite. It's a hammock. So I like take a bike and like go to some place and like hang it, and battery with a good power bank lasts for about 4 hours. It must be warm though, like something above 18 degrees. And now, okay, the bottom left, that's in a train. It's very good because it's like actually travel doesn't take time since you earn money when traveling. The beer one, that's end of work. If I'm at this stage, it means I have like 1 hour left of working, and then it's just I have to close it and it's over. No way. So it's good to like finish the beer the time you actually post a pull request. Yeah. Okay, so what are the skills that are very important in such a job? So first of all foreign languages, and like the most important one is English. I actually never used any other language except programming languages. The second one is engineering, very important. Programming languages, general communication and teamwork, project management platforms, that would be Jira and recently GitHub, which is also quite good. Version control system, Git, like coding standards, the ability to set up a local environment. Then it's also nice because people get to know you this way, so it's easier to find a job. So contributing to open source projects, contributing to Drupal, and well, meeting other developers that are also in the community, and some other things I will eventually get to. So the English language, it's I think the most important thing. So programming languages are in English. Documentation is in English. Guides, blogs, tutorials also in English. And the clients and the managers speak English. And we all hear those, so it's like... now, I recently learned I'm actually not a programmer. I'm a software engineer. So the engineering part is like, it's very, very important. I think with that AI, that was the subject of the previous lecture, it could possibly replace programmers, but not engineers. So AI could possibly write code if you told it exactly what to do, but never plan it. So now programming, okay, the ability to write clean code and work, make it easy for others to review, like so there are no misunderstanding between you and the machine. And here is my first programming challenge to solve this system of equations. There were no tools at that time that could do it. I think they are known even now. So it gives us some state of a system in time and space. It took me 3 years. I thought there is something wrong with me, but then I met one guy at a conference and he told me that it's normal. So that was my first application in C++. Okay, now communication and teamwork. So what are the important things for me? It's like, don't ever assume bad intentions from others. Always communicate if there is a problem, but at the right time. So don't bother people whenever. And well, if something cannot be solved, be ready to just tell them you're not going this way, and well, just quit sometimes. It happened to me 2 times in my life, and the cause was just a project manager that didn't want to listen, or team leader. So it was time to quit then. Now, the very important thing that every global and I think also local developer that is working in a team has to master is the Git. So what I'm using is like git status, log, pull, add, commit, push, merge or rebase. I prefer merge. Then cherry pick and nice hooks, pre-commit and prepare commit message, so you don't have to put those tasks IDs manually in the commit messages. Now the coding standards. So this makes it easy for us to understand each other's code and to read it without issues. It just looks nice to everyone. So we have Drupal Coder project, we have PHP-CS, PHP-CBF for fixing, and also there is quite a new tool, PHP-Stan, for also checking standards, which also has a strict types checker. The strict types are also important, in my opinion at least, because you always know what to expect. So if you have a variable, then you always know what type is it, if it's a string or if it's an integer or anything else, or an array. So the dynamic typecasting is a feature of PHP, but we're kind of moving away from it. And of course the integration of a coding standards checker with the editor, which I recently actually stopped using because I came to a point where I'm following the standards without any additional tools. It somehow just I learned. Okay, so now the local environment setup. Can we work with no internet connection? Maybe sometimes, but it's usually we rebuild our environments so often, and we get new dependencies, and we have to like post those pull requests and communicate with people real time. So it's probably a dream. And thanks to it, we have one more quality assurance step, where we can actually not only review the code, but also test locally. Then probably there's a remote QA environment, staging and production. So it's actually the first step when some task is checked. Okay, some legacy tools. I've been using only Vagrant from those, I think. Then we have Docker, Composer, and what was a part of my last year's lecture, DDEF, and also Lando. Now contributing to open source project. So for me this is important because that's how I found my place in the community. So I have my contrib modules, I am maintaining them, I am the manager there, the master, I write the code, I know everything about it, people use it. It's just like my small island in the open source code. Of course, everyone is welcome to join me there whenever, but it's like my place, my piece of land. So it's very nice. And for me, it changed the purpose of my work completely. When I did it for free for the people, then also doing it for the money as a paid work didn't change the look. Even if I'm getting paid for my work, I still have the impression I'm doing it for the people and for some bigger common good. So it doesn't really feel like work anymore, but well, something else, just helping others. There are also hidden benefits that we shouldn't expect, but it will eventually happen. So, for example, my work at Tag 1 Consulting, that was my first work when I didn't even have to send a CV anywhere. And the interviews were also like just talking to friends or something. They just found me because of my contrib modules. Yes, and also a lot of satisfaction. So when you do something for the people and they give you kudos, that they thank you and they really appreciate your work, it feels really nice. Probably like walking an old lady across the street and like she's very happy that she could cross. So except it's open source, so you're helping a lot more people at the same time. Yeah, the work interviews can be really funny when, well, your work is online, they can actually see how you work, and then they ask you, what's an object? So it's like, okay. And now, yes, everyone is special in a way. So I met other top developers, like, yes, as I said before, also core maintainers and like people that did modules like me. And I can say there is no person like me there, and everyone is special in a way. There are like very good reviewers, people who have a lot of patience, people who can write awesome code. But everyone is different, and you can actually learn from everyone, and because of like this comparison you can eventually find out who you really are. Okay, so now for the success factors for me. So that was a bit of talent in communication and engineering, a lot of hard work. I think I should also put there like coincidence, because this all wasn't ever planned. Traveling, meeting different people and cultures, which makes you like more open to working with different people. Also, yes, being in a toxic environment now and then, that like, yes, makes you try to work harder. and also having to leave the comfort zone. Now hard challenges like the one I mentioned with the solving of the partial differential equation system. Also, desire to help others, which started in me when I was around 35 or something. Then, yes, never actually sticking to any goals except the current tasks. So there wasn't ever any plan. And also jobs Drupal.org, which is a very nice platform where you can find some actually good job offers for agencies and companies worldwide. Okay, and here's my twisted way of getting there. So, here's the primary school. Somehow I was average or below average in every subject except English. I was very good at English. I don't know why. It was strange. No, nothing interesting happened in high school except start of use of alcohol and other substances. That may have been significant as well, I know. Then university, it was actually chemical engineering. Nothing to do with programming, but I think it shaped the way of thinking and solving problems. Then there was no work in Warsaw, so I went for PhD, where I learned programming. That was the C++. I also had a job back then in a Renewable Energy Institute, and there actually nothing connected to science, basically, but those were EU projects, and those projects have project meetings, so I could like go to Vienna or Berlin or some other places and meet some scientists and talk to them, so that also shaped the social skills. And starting from that time, I had two things going always. Two projects, two jobs. It was always from that time. There wasn't a single thing I was doing. It was also always two or more. Then I started working at a publishing house, and it was one of the toxic environments because it wasn't really prepared for the entering of internet and digital publications. And that's when I actually started to working on Drupal, because some manager chose it as a preferred solution. At the same time, I wrote a dropshipping platform for my former wife, so that was a second project. It was doing quite good, but eventually it ended. So when I quit the publishing house, actually I was fired because of improper behavior towards my manager. Yes, I said I am not ever going to work for anyone. So I started to be a freelancer on single projects as a single developer on many different projects for different clients. That shaped the social skills, and working like this showed me that I can actually survive on my own. So it gives a lot of confidence. But sometimes I had my account completely empty, just knowing that that in a few weeks something will come in. But yeah, it was a crazy time. So up till that time, I wasn't using Git I had my own code standards that were basically so the code takes least possible space. So it looked, when I'm looking at it now, it doesn't look very nice. So after that, I started to work as a freelancer, but for agencies. So I had to learn Git, coding standards, and later the setup of the local development platform. Then there was like 2 years in a corporate environment with a friend of mine that is also here. That's when I learned to use Docker and started contributing to open source. I actually started with views bulk operations for Drupal 8, and then all started. Then there was a job for British Council, which was funny because they paid full time, and the workload was actually 1 day a week, not more probably. So I had also a lot of time for other projects. If you ever see a foundation that offers work, and like, go for it. You will have a lot of time for another work. Non-profit, they're doing really crazy things. And it wasn't the only one actually that I worked for, so yeah, like, I think it may be a rule. Okay, after that, yes, with a few other projects, Jeremy Andrews from Tag 1 Consulting just wrote an email to me that he really likes the views bulk operations module, and maybe I would like to work for Tag 1 Consulting. So that's where I met the other developers, and the team there is actually very, very distributed. I think the only place where there are no developers is from Tag 1 is Africa somehow. Or maybe there is one, I don't know. It's like the team is all over the world. So now, yes, if I wanted to train a young Drupal master, what I would do? First the English language, then some engineering skills, some programming language, so he knows how to do it. Of course, Drupal. Then I would let him travel a bit, but without people speaking the same language, so he gets the social skills and gets better at foreign languages. And well, teamwork technologies, which are the ones I mentioned, like Git and project management platforms and so on. Okay, now I have prepared 2 case studies of my new contrib modules to actually show you maybe how to find a way to get in there and like have a project of your own, which helps a lot in the professional career. So the first one is a views date filter. Now I have a question. Did anyone try to do date filters in views in Drupal? Okay, how do they look like? Okay, I will show you this one. That's a date filter in views, in core. So we have the content view, and if you want a filter that actually shows you content from some dates, from a specific date or from a date range, is just terrible. You specified some initial conditions which are like -1 year and now, and you can change that, but there is no date picker, nothing. So I think for a few projects I even did a date filter. I don't remember. I think some solution in some custom module, which was a module that just was a side module and had other alterations. But recently I got really annoyed. So I decided that's it. Nobody's going to do it, so I'm going to do it. And yeah, we have a date filter module, which is, let's enable it. It's a plug and play module. So you just enable it. You don't have to change any config, nothing. You just have date pickers with date and time. With time only, you can also change the filter to like one value where you just provide a specific date. You can get rid of time. There's an additional setting, so it's like quite straightforward and just plug and play. And it supports timestamp base fields and also date time fields. Okay, so that's that. It's stable, and I think it has already 150 installs, something like this. So it's working well. Now, this one I especially like. Okay, so that's a GIF. So we have animated images, we have GIFs and APNGs. Before this module was released, there was nothing that handles APNGs. We only could install iMagick module that integrates the ImageMagick library, and it handles GIFs, but not APNGs. And animated PNGs are far superior than GIFs, because with basically the same size, they have 24-bit color palette, and GIFs are only 8 bits. That's why this looks terrible, because my Keynote doesn't support APNGs, and I had to convert this to a GIF. Now, how the module looks like on the side. So it's not completely plug and play, because it defines an image toolkit. So you have to change the image toolkit to FFmpeg. FFmpeg is a library for converting video files. But it also works on images and animated images. So you just have to install FFmpeg on the server. On the dev, it's very easy. Maybe I will quickly show you a lot of my work. Okay. I think it's here. Yeah. Okay, in the dev, that's the only thing you have to do to have FFmpeg installed on your web container. So, okay, so all we have to do is change the toolkit here, and we can even see the media view. The animated GIFs and PNGs animate. That's a GIF, that's a PNG. We can also see some content pieces. Okay. And we have image styles for both GIFs, APNGs, but also standard images. Okay, and I think that was Oh, let's see. Yeah. So get out there and start giving. Thank you very much.
What's an object?
That's one. All right. Any other questions?
So, besides these modules you presented, you are a maintainer on something else also?
Yes, I think at the moment there are about 50. I don't remember exactly most of those 50 I just didn't no longer had anything to do with, but it's like fuse bulk operations, fuse bulk edit, fuse bulk operations export, and that are significant, those two. Then okay, there is the booking API, but it's used only on one project, which I recently got back to. Yeah, well, quite a lot. Just you can visit my Drupal profile. Should be listed. All right. We have what's it? 3 minutes. The last lecture was a bit longer, so I guess we can finish this one now, and we'll be exactly in time this way.